Good morning, everyone. It is, what is it? Tuesday, June 15th, and we are at just about 11:30, a little bit late. Sorry, folks, went late with clients. And it's time for Facebook Live with me, Ask the Gap Chef, Monica Corrado. So, happy to have all of you here. Well, one of you here. Hello, Carol. And happy to answer any questions that you might have about cooking for the GAPS diet. So yeah, here's the diet. We've got Gut and Psychology Syndrome by Dr. Natasha Campbell-McBride, and then her latest, hello Adriana, her latest book, which is Gut and Physiology Syndrome. Look at all those tabs. She just released in October of 2019. Lots of really, really good information in there about the gut and the health of the gut and its connection with so many things. Allergies, autoimmune, arthritis, fatigue, hormonal problems, neurological disease, etc. So I really encourage you to take a look at that. And then when you get a chance, take a look at this, which is my book, The Complete Cooking Techniques for the GAPS Diet, from Selene River Press, SELENE River Press. All right, so let's get started. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I know we have some newcomers here today. Welcome, welcome. Please feel free to visit the page, Ask the Gap Chef, my page, and put any questions during the week on there. I'll do my best to get to them every day, and to also bring anyone who wants questions answered about cooking for the GAPS diet. Yeah, here I am, all yours, whole hour, asking your questions, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. All right, so let's get started. Hello, Shilpa. You may be new. I don't know that I know your name, so welcome. Hello, Adriana. Okay, so we'll get started with questions now. What are your thoughts on using liposomal vitamin C and calm magnesium citrate for constipation help? Thanks. Okay, so constipation, Dr. Natasha will say over and over again that the roots of constipation is a congested liver. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your liver is being supported and not congested. So let me actually start in another place. There is an entire chapter on bowel management in the Blue Book that I would really take a look at. It has about 10, I think, or maybe more, of Dr. Natasha's suggested things to help with constipation. So that's the first thing I just want to give you as a resource, everyone. Blue Book, bowel management. The next thing that I'd like to say, okay, I've got something right there. Okay, is that, let's get back to liver. So congested liver equals constipation. That's one thing we need to look at. The other thing we need to look at is where are you on the diet? So we know that if people are prone to constipation, that we want to start them on the full GAPS diet because there are a lot more foods on the full GAPS diet that will support your bowel movement. So I just want to give you that, Shilpa. Magnesium is one of the things that Dr. Natasha suggests as a help for constipation. One of the ways you can do that is to take Epsom salt baths on a nightly basis every night. That is beautiful magnesium. And also magnesium citrate. I believe her favorite is magnesium glycinate. So just look and make sure that whatever magnesium you're taking, it doesn't have a lot of, I'm going to say the word crap, C-R-A-P in it. Meaning fillers and things that are not good for you and are really good for your pathogens. So that's what I would suggest. So one more time with feeling, support your liver. How do you do that? For constipation, how do you support your liver? All of you in GAPS should be supporting your liver by eating liver, by drinking beet kvass, fermented beet tonic, by also doing GAPS milkshakes. That would be something to do. Shilpa and everyone else, GAPS milkshakes are fine, starting with intro diet stage 2. And I'd really suggest that you look at Dr. Natasha's now written down, specifically GAPS milkshake recipe, which is on page 80. It's several times in the blue book, but page 80 is where I found it first. So GAPS milkshake, very, very important for relieving constipation. So do these other things. Hello, Angela. Hello, Diana. Do these other things. So Epsom salt baths every night. Enemas. Every day that you do not have a bowel movement, folks, the basic enema is indicated. Unless you have ulcerative colitis or any other severe bowel disease where you're bleeding from the rectum. Basic enemas, really, really important. The basic enema every night that you're not having a bowel movement. The basic enema is actually a specific type of enema that Dr. Natasha goes into in the yellow book, in the blue book. It may even be on gaps.me, so you can check that out. And so I just want to go ahead and offer that. If you're not having a regular bowel movement, that means every day, then you'll want to be doing a basic enema on the days that you're not having a bowel movement, which is 1 teaspoon of baking soda, bicarbonate of soda, clean. 1 teaspoon, you pour a liter of boiling water on that, let it outgas, then add a teaspoon of good salt, let it come to body temperature, cool down. That's your basic enema solution. So enemas, Epsom salt baths, rubbing oil, abdominal massage with Udo's oil or castor oil, CASTOR, or olive oil or any other oil that's a food grade. Abdominal massage, tracing the large intestine up, over, down, up, over, down, up your right side, over, down. Hello, Susan. Great to see you. So constipation, folks, you really want to be addressing the liver health, and you want to be doing basic enemas for every day that you don't have a bowel movement. And that little, it's like the triad, You're going to do a basic enema, then you do an Epsom salt bath, then you'll do a beautiful abdominal massage, and that's what you do to relieve constipation. And then go ahead and GAPS milkshakes. Do the GAPS milkshake. Remember, the GAPS milkshake has raw eggs in it, which is the raw egg yolk, raw egg white, and fat. Cultured cream, creme fraiche. If you can't tolerate dairy, then it would be some other fat, coconut oil or something else that you can whisk into the GAPS milkshake. All right. So, quick question. How much liver do you recommend you eat per week? Okay. Susan Quirk could probably put that in the chat for you. In the comment section. Okay. So, but I'll give it to you here. So, how much liver should you eat every week? Depends on how nutrient deficient you are, how exhausted you are, how much healing you want to do. So a long time ago, when I was first teaching Nourishing Traditions, Weston A. Price, Sally Fallon, now Sally Fallon Morell, the head, the founder, the foundress of the Weston A. Price Foundation, would say 3 to 4 ounces of liver once or twice a week, depending on your stress level, depending on your, again, nutrient deficiencies, depending on what you're trying to heal, etc., etc. That is about the equivalent of the palm of your hand, once or twice a week. I believe that the body will tell you how much you need. Meaning, if you're really listening to the body, you will know, I've had enough today. Oh, I need more. But really start eating some liver, folks, every day, even if it's just with the little liver shots, which are tiny frozen liver pills that you make from grass-fed beef liver, bison liver, lamb liver, whatever you'd like, that's been frozen a minimum of 14 days. So just, take some in. If you haven't been eating liver, it's really, really probable, highly probable, that you will start feeling so much better. Your energy, you'll have more energy, you'll sleep better. All sorts of wonderful things will start resolving once you start eating liver. I've had people who have had chronic fatigue and started eating liver every day, even just a little bit, a couple of bites, 3 or 4 of these frozen liver pills, and they felt miraculously better. So how much liver every day is going to be individual, but it is, or pardon me, every week is individual, but it's good to at least have it every week. Okay, so Adriana has a question. Can you talk about kefir, Kefir, kefir on the skin? Yes. My son has severe eczema, and when I apply it on the skin, he says it burns. Any thoughts? Okay, so yes, kefir on the skin. It's a really wonderful thing to apply kefir, milk kefir, folks, to the skin on a regular basis. You can use it to repopulate the groin if you're prone to UTIs or bladder infections or vaginal yeast infections. If you want to get pregnant and have a good, healthy flora in that birth canal, we apply kefir in the groin area. Dr. Natasha calls it the nappy area for children. If it burns, then listen to him. I would try something else, Adriana. Perhaps try tallow. You can make a mixture of tallow and a little bit of olive oil. Add some food grade or therapeutic grade lavender oil or Roman chamomile, which is specific to regenerating skin. So listen to him, Adriana, of course. Listen to your child. If the kefir burns, then try something else. Try tallow every day. Try raw honey on the skin in a patch. Why don't you try a little patch and see what feels better to him. You can also do things like seaweed baths for eczema. You can do bicarbonate of soda, so baking soda baths are good for eczema, those types of things. Yeah, follow his lead. It may be that something like raw honey would be better, or raw honey and tallow would be better for him. And then go back in a little while and try again and see if kefir would be helpful and not burn. We don't want him to be uncomfortable, if that makes sense. Okay, hello Carol, Diana, Angela, Susan. Okay. Okay, so yes, Carol and Joanna, frozen liver pills. So a long time ago, in a land far away, Maryland, I was living right outside Washington, D.C. I was there for 27 years. I taught at a fabulous university called the Maryland University of Integrative Health in their nutrition program. And I was actually one of the teachers that was the inaugural teachers of that program, master's degree in nutrition and integrative health master's degree. So but even before that, a long time ago, I came up with this idea of how do we get liver into people? Well, let's make frozen liver pills. So I call them liver shots because it's kind of fun. We shoot them, we take them, and then we drink something and we swallow them. This is one of the ways that we could get, anyone can get people to take liver real, grass-fed, clean, delicious, organic, pasture-raised liver into people who don't like the taste of liver, or who normally wouldn't eat it, or don't want to cook it, or don't want to cook it in their house, or don't like the smell of it cooking. So making frozen liver pills was a way that I got around, getting people to all those problems of I don't want to cook it, I don't want to smell it, I don't want to chew it, I don't like the taste of it. No problem. So you get some, again, cleanest liver you can find is always best because it will be nutritionally superior to any liver from an animal that was not eating pasture, right? That was, so we want clean, fresh liver. You freeze it for 14 days at a minimum. Beef liver usually comes in slices, so that makes it easy. And then you get ready to make it. So you're going to take your cutting board out, secure it with a towel on the counter in your kitchen. You're going to get a very sharp knife, very sharp big knife that you're comfortable with. You get a plate with some parchment paper ready to go. Then you take your liver out, put it on the cutting board, let it defrost just enough, barely enough to get your knife through. Cut it into little pieces that are the size of a pill. The reason I came up with that size is because I can say to anyone that says, I don't want to eat liver, you can't make me eat liver, I'm never going to eat liver, I hate the taste of liver. I say, hey, have you ever taken a pill? Yeah, everybody's taken a pill, whether it's an aspirin or a vitamin or a prescription medication, right? People are used to swallowing pills. So that's where I came up with the size of a pill. So just make it the size of a pill, cut it quickly, put it on the parchment paper, put the plate with the parchment paper in the freezer, refreeze. As soon as it's refrozen, you can pop them off the paper and put them in a little container, keep it in the freezer. Those are frozen liver pills. I call them liver shots. People call them liver pills. You can pop 2 or 3 or 4 in your mouth, every morning. And best to have liver with fat. We all know that, I hope, because liver is full of fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, K, etc. And so you want to have it with a little bit of fat. That could be you could drink it with your beautiful milk kefir. You can have it with yogurt. You could have it with your Gap shake, frankly. Just wash them on down and off you go. That's frozen liver pills. That's swallow like a pill. You do not have to. You do not have to chew them. You don't even have to taste them. Of course, if you chew, then you would get the enzymes started working, and you would alert the brain to tell the stomach, "Hey, liver's coming." But you don't have to. So I hope that. For Joanna, hello, I hope, and Carol, I hope that made it clear. Diana asks me. Hello, Diana. Does it have to be organic and pasture-raised liver? I'm having a hard time finding that. Okay, so does it have to be? So we're always doing the best we can, right, everyone? So do the best you can, get the best quality you can, and then bless it and go. What I mean by that is don't worry about it, because then your energy will be split. We don't want your energy split. We want you knowing I'm doing this for my body. It's going to be really good for me. Ta-da, ta-da. So I really encourage all of you, I don't know, Diana, where you live or whatever, but get to the Weston A. Price Foundation, WESTON, Get to that website. On the website, you can look up Find a Local Chapter. And there are local chapters all around the country and the world at this point where there are volunteers. We bless them. We are grateful to them. There are volunteers who will put you in touch with farmers that have clean food. Farmers that are raising clean food, they'll connect you with them directly. And so I would connect, if you have not already, with the Weston A. Price Foundation, westonaprice.org, and look for a local chapter and see if you can find a farmer who raises clean cows, or raises cows cleanly, I guess. The next thing is, if you need to, jump online. So who has organic and pasture-raised liver? I'd look at U.S. Wellness Meats. I would look at, that's online, I would look at Fields of Athenry Farm in Virginia. That's Fields of Athenry. Athenry Farm in Virginia. They ship beautiful, clean, gorgeous meat raised with love. I'd look at White Oak Pastures. So yeah, I would just get on there, and if you have to order it online, you can. I do know that Organic Valley makes a frozen, offers a frozen organic beef liver in slices in some stores. So you're just gonna have to look. A long time ago, I asked Sally Fallon, hey, Sally, so what if people can't get organic pasture-raised liver? Should they still be eating liver? And her answer was a resounding yes. They should still be eating liver. Get the best quality you can. Always there's good, better, best, right? There's good, better, best. There's the broken down Volkswagen bus, and there's the Maserati, and we're always somewhere in between there. Do the best you can, and then, as I said, bless it and go. So the question is always, for liver, really, folks, has to do with, if you buy liver that is from a cow that was not fed what it should have been fed, then nutritionally, that liver will be less good, if you will, than a cow that ate what it was supposed to eat. Makes sense? In terms of toxins, a lot of people think that livers, that if you eat liver from a cow that was not fed what was supposed to be fed, that the toxins will be in the liver. But the reality is their liver does not store toxins, folks. So that's not something we need to think about. The liver does not store toxins, it filters toxins. So just want to give you those kind of two things about liver as we go through. All right, so Diana, do the best you can, and then bless it and go. Okay, so Shilpa says, hello, Alyssa, good to have you with us. Okay, Shilpa says, if I have introduced fruits before starting GAPS intro diet, should I remove when doing GAPS intro? I'm worried that it will make constipation worse. So Shilpa, I would be hanging out in the full GAPS diet for a while and then go into intro. I would definitely not be doing fruits. Yeah, so remember that the intro diet, everyone, so funny, I was going to bring my chart today, but it's upstairs. So the intro GAPS diet does not have fruit on it until you hit stage 5. So yes, if you're in fruit, if you've started fruits and you do intro, yeah, stage 1, no fruit. Stage 2, no fruit. Stage 3, no fruit. Stage 4, no fruit. Yeah, unless we're doing juicing, and then some fruits are added after a while. Yeah, after you've done carrot juice and things like that. So if you're constipated, Shilpa, I would be doing the GAPS milkshake. I would be doing the GAPS milkshake, and I would also be doing all of those things that Dr. Natasha mentions in bowel management. So some of them are things like, yes, magnesium, Epsom salt baths, as I said. Certainly enemas, and more enemas to get, yeah, constipation. And the other thing, just so everyone has it, perhaps you know this, but perhaps you don't. Remember that there are certain foods on GAPS that will help to firm the stool, and that can cause constipation or aggravate constipation for people who are prone that way. So for those of you that tend to be more on the constipation side, you will want to be staying away from high protein dairy. You'll want to be staying away from yogurt and away from milk kefir. And you'll want to be really emphasizing butter, ghee, cultured cream. Those are your 3 top dairy. You want high fat dairy. Take out all the high protein dairy. And you'll also want to be watching that whey, the amount of whey you're putting in. That can also firm the stools. It's a wonderful remedy for constipation, diarrhea. So whey out for now. See if that helps. Just staying with high fat dairy instead of high protein dairy. That's another thing. And make sure you're doing a lot of fermented vegetables to see if that will help. So those are some other ideas, folks. Okay. Terry. Hello, Terry. Frozen raw is better than dehydrated then? Are you making your own dehydrated, Terry? If you're making your own dehydrated, fabulous. If you're eating it in pills, that's a processed food. However, again, we're splitting hairs here, or maybe we're not. So let's go back to a basic. The basic in GAPS is that GAPS is about food. Believe it or not, folks, food. F-O-O-D. Not supplements, food. So food is always going to be where we start. And food that is not processed. Food that you make yourself is always going to be better. It's going to be what we, as GAPS practitioners, and what Dr. Natasha is going to say, it's all about the food. Food can heal. Food will heal. It's about the food. So if you're making your own dehydrated liver and eating it, great. Perfect. Wonderful. Especially if you're dehydrating low, right? The point of a dehydrator is to maintain and preserve enzymes. So as long as you're doing it 110 or less degrees Fahrenheit, folks, I don't have the Celsius here with me, then you're fine. So, good. So I have a yes coming down there. So yes. Yeah, Terry, if you dehydrate it, great. That's fabulous. It doesn't take up any room in your freezer. You can absolutely do that for sure. All right. But I just want to make that point again, which is this. Gut and psychology syndrome is a nutritional protocol. I know you all know that, but I just want to make that point. It's about the food. It's about the food. It's one more time with feeling about the food. So eat good food and cook it correctly and make sure you get enough of it and you will be healing and sealing. Okay. Joanna says, or asks, I suppose you could do liver shots with cooked liver, right? Or not? You could, Joanna, but what's the point? Liver shots are about making it easy for people, maintaining the enzymes. It was really a way to make sure that people would eat liver if they didn't want to cook liver. So, yeah, you could. It would be less nutritionally good, but it's still liver. So get it in. If you want to do them, it's fine. Okay. Annie. Hi, Annie. Annie says raw liver, right? Yes. So frozen liver shots are made from raw liver that you've had in your freezer for 14 days minimum. And then, and then you cut them into little tiny pieces that look like pills. Little pieces, and you keep them in the freezer, and then you take 2 or 3 or 4 a day, or a couple times a day if you want to listen to your body. Right. Should dehydrated, hold on a minute. All right, just because Annie's asking a question about dehydration, to close that loop. Joanna, okay. Oh, Joanna says, because I already cooked it, I was going to give it to my dogs. Don't shoot me. No. Why would you? Because you can take them as liver shots. That's fine. And your dogs will be very, very, very lucky to have that liver. My dog gets frozen liver every day. Liver treats. Okay. Should dehydrated ground beef for jerky be dehydrated at a lower temperature too to keep enzymes? Yes, folks, if you've got a dehydrator, what a blessing. Instead of just using your oven, which doesn't go down low enough to preserve enzymes. So if you've got a fabulous dehydrator, yes, use it at 110 or 108, 105, 100 preserve those enzymes. Really makes food so much better for your body if you can preserve the enzymes. So yes, Annie, I would do that. All right, so where were we? Adriana wants to know, can you talk about sleep in the GAPS diet? Yes. Very important. If you have specific questions, Adriana, throw them in the comments. But yeah, sleep. Let's do this thing. So last week, when I was teaching with Dr. Natasha, the practitioner course, yes, or maybe it was the coach course, she talked about the absolute importance, folks, of sleep and of all of us sleeping in accordance with the rhythms of the day. And that means waking up with the sun and going to sleep with the sun. So when the sun comes up, we wake up. When the sun goes down, we go to sleep. When the sun comes up, we wake up. When the sun goes down, we go to sleep. It's a very, very important rhythm for the body. It enables you to really get the deep sleep that you need. It also is very, very important for you in terms of cortisol levels and just those beautiful rhythms. So yes, sleep with the sun, up and down. Go to sleep with it when it goes down, wake up with it when it comes up, and you will be a much less stressed person, really hormonally. And yeah. So sleep, and get as much, and of course, what's going to happen? So in the summer, you're going to have less sleep. Why? Because as we know, up until this coming weekend, when we hit the solstice, right, the nights are getting shorter, the days are getting longer, and then we will have more sleep in the wintertime. Perfect. It's exactly right, that rhythm. Okay. I hope that's all you need to know for sleep. I think. So what matters most is going to bed early and waking up early versus the number of one. Yes, so what matters is going to sleep with the sun and waking up with the sun, because that's a natural rhythm. It is actually, if we didn't all live in cities that never slept, right? Meaning, if we didn't all, not that we all do, but many people live in cities where the city never sleeps. The lights are on all the time, and right, everything's going, all the Wi-Fi is going through your body. I mean, up, and you can't even see, they call that, what do they call that? Light pollution? You can't even see the stars. So if we could actually be listening to the rhythm of the sun, then we would get far more rest. So yes, it's more important than the number of hours, if you will. According to Dr. Natasha, it's more important than the number of hours. What's most important is to wake up with the sun and go to sleep with the sun. And if we do that, we will be nice, and rested, deeply rested. Susie put something in here. Sleep, declutter the bedroom. Yes. Hello, Susie. Remove electronics. Yes, especially for your children and yourselves. Take out anything that disturbs, yes, your mind and create peace in the sleep area. Very, very important. And then sleep with the sun. Any help for someone who wakes up at 3 a.m. and finds it hard to go back to sleep? Yes. One more time with feeling. 3 a.m. 3 a.m., everybody. 3 a.m. So right at 3 a.m., boom, liver time turns to lung time. So 3 a.m. Liver time is the cusp. So liver time is 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Lung time is 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. So if you're waking up at 3, it would be interesting, Adriana, if you could see if you wake up before 3 or after 3. Because before 3 is liver time, and that means that your liver needs attention. It's trying to tell you something. It could be that it needs you to do more detoxification, please, more things to help it out. It could mean that you need to eat more liver. It could mean that you are toxic, and so you need to do more detoxification measures. The other thing it could mean is that you have a lot on your mind. Liver, the official, is all about the one that makes the plan. I'm not an acupuncturist, nor do I am I schooled in Chinese medicine except for my own learning and reading. But in my practice, I do work with people and we look at these meridians. And so liver is generally about, making a plan and seeing the vision and deciding which way to go. So if you have a lot on your mind, that could be why you're waking up at 3 or right before 3, between 1 and 3 a.m. If you're waking up after 3, that's lung time. And again, just a thumbnail sketch. So lung is usually about, so it can be about, do you have anything going on with your respiration? But also, do you have any grieving to do? So those things, those questions would come up if we were working together. I hope that helps. So support your liver if it's before 3, support your liver anyway. If it's after 3, then you want to start thinking about what's going on with your lungs. Remember that the lungs are also a detoxification organ. Remember that the lungs are always detoxing gas for you all day long as we breathe. Detoxed. So to support the lungs may also be something that would be helpful for you. How would you support the lungs? You could be drinking teas that are very good for the lungs. You could be putting beautiful therapeutic essential oils on your lungs. Things like eucalyptus, globulus, etc. Things that will open up breathing passages, things like that. All right, so I think I've covered everything from the top. Let's see. I'm scrolling, folks. That's why I'm whistling. Okay, Shilpa has another question. Okay, Shilpa. Hope I'm saying your name right. Okay, since starting ferment juice on intro, I have started having bloating. Yes, you will. Excellent. So people, really good question. Do not be afraid of bloating. Ready? Did we get that? Do not be afraid of bloating. What do I mean by that? Of course you're going to bloat when you start ferment juice. Of course you are. Why? Because you're taking in good bacteria that you've never taken in before. So yes, you will bloat. Excellent. That means you had enough to actually make yourself bloat. I would stay at that level if it's comfortable for you. That level, stay there until you don't bloat anymore. And then increase the amount of ferment juice you're taking in. And then you're going to bloat again. Hooray! Good for you. You are repopulating your gut. And then you will stay at that level for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever works for you, until you don't bloat anymore at that level. And then you're going to have more, and you will bloat again. This is the staircase. This is the staircase method of putting probiotic foods into our bodies. That's how we do it. Take in a little bit, bloat, stay at that level for a while, and then once you normalize, increase it. You will bloat. Cool. Then you're going to stay at that level for a while. Then increase it. You will bloat. So I know I'm making light of this, but the reality is do not be afraid of bloating, people. Do not be afraid. It is a signal that you have brought in more good bacteria and that the battle is on. The bad guys are dying. The good guys are coming in. You're having die-off, and you're going to bloat. So it's not a problem. Shilpa, it's not a problem. If it is very uncomfortable for you, back up and take in less for a while, or stay off it for 2 or 3 days and then start at a lower level. That's an option for everybody. So listen to your body and, take in less if you need to, no problem. Dr. Natasha recommends adding lemon juice and apple cider to water and taking hydrochloric acid pepsin, so I started that. Is there anything else I could do to help? So one more time with feeling. Since your bloating is connected to, you put into the comments, since starting ferment juice on intro, I'm putting it in quotes, that means that you're just naturally going through repopulating your gut. That's what's happening. So if it's uncomfortable, back up and start with a little bit less, or take a couple days off and then start with less. Just listen to your body. Lemon juice and apple cider to water really has to do with, which is a wonderful thing to do, really has to do with increasing your hydrochloric acid. And hydrochloric acid in the stomach is important to have high hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Not too high, but certainly high enough to break down the protein that you are eating. So, same thing with HCl, pepsin, hydrochloric acid, pepsin. So if you were to tell me, Shilpa, that when you eat protein, you have gas and it really stinks, I would say you need hydrochloric acid and pepsin. Your stomach acid is too low. But what you're saying to me is, since I started on ferment juice, I've started bloating. And bloating equals die-off. And die-off is just fine. And it will resolve. Just back up and have less if you need to. All right. That was a lot of teaching for one little question. I hope everybody got that. If you have follow-on questions about hydrochloric acid, etc., let me know. Okay. All right. Jane says, thank you for all your teaching. Oh, you're welcome, Jane. Thanks for being with us. Thank you for being with us. Okay, let's see. Hello, Paloma. Yes. Okay. Terry, Diana, Paloma. What about bloating after the coffee enemas? So let's talk about coffee enemas, shall we? So remember that coffee enemas are one of the most detoxifying enemas that you can do. You're welcome, Shilpa. My pleasure. Any questions? Send them on in. I'm happy to try. Okay, so what about bloating after coffee enemas? So let me start in another place. So coffee enemas are one of the most powerful tools that we have to detoxify the body. That is its role. And so when we do a coffee enema, we want to make sure first that we've done enough cleansing enemas. That's what I started with earlier. The, hello, Sunny, the basic enema, right? We do the basic enema of bicarbonate of soda, baking soda, and salt. We do enough cleansing enemas to be able to do the coffee enema. I just want to make sure that people understand that you do not want to do a coffee enema if you haven't cleaned out the bowel first. Okay, so yeah. So what about bloating after the coffee enemas? So again, and coffee enemas, you want to make sure that you're holding them. You make them a little bit warmer than a basic enema because you want the body to hold the coffee for a while, as long as you can. Okay. So I don't know about the bloating after coffee enemas, Adriana. I just want to make sure that you're doing 1 or 2 or 3 or 5. That's an exaggeration, but it could be up to 3 cleansing enemas before you attempt a coffee enema. That the coffee enema is warmer than your body temperature, maybe 100 degrees, 99 degrees, so that you will be able to hold the coffee in, and so that the coffee can do that incredibly intense detoxification, help the liver to detoxify it many times more than it usually does. Okay, give me more info in the comments if you want, Adriana, about that. Okay, hello, Alyssa. You sent in a question yesterday. I didn't see it. Do you want to type it in the chat? I'm sorry, or I can answer it for you later, just on the page, whatever you prefer. I'm sorry I didn't get to it, but I've been with clients since 8 a.m. back to back, and I literally ran to my seat to get this, and I did not have a chance to check that, Alyssa. So you can send me that question if you want. I don't know how I can get you to unmute or something, but I don't think that works on this thing. Okay, any more questions about anything? Coffee enemas, cooking techniques. You'll notice that I put some beautiful kefir. Maybe that's why you sent me a question. Kefir grains. Oh, let me just talk about this because it's cool and fun. So, and then I'll get to your question, Adriana. Okay, so here's the cool and fun thing. All right, ready? So, in between batches of kefir, making kefir, we all know to put our grains, or we should, in a milk hotel in the refrigerator. I hope we know that. So in between batches, if you're not going to make a batch every day, kefir needs milk. You can stop their multiplying, too strong. You can slow down their multiplying by putting them in the refrigerator in a cup of milk-ish, and then giving them fresh milk every week, right? Once a week, every week, put it on your calendar. You want to keep your grains, give them fresh milk every week, once a week. Okay, so there's two cool things that I've discovered that I want to share with you about kefir grains from the Milk Hotel. Number one, what do you do with that milk that they've been hanging out in for a week? Do you throw it out? Never. Do you use it to culture something? Yes. Can you drink it? Of course. If you drink it, it just won't be as strong as if you had left it out at room temperature. So do not throw that beautiful milk from the Milk Hotel of your kefir grains out. Very, very important for you to use that. It's like liquid gold, folks. So you could give it to someone in the family that is not having a lot of kefir yet, kind of break them in. You could, if you are on the transition diet or the Weston A. Price diet, you can use that to ferment grains. No grains on full gaps, of course. Or you can also use it to ferment nut flour. So if you're going to make a beautiful nut flour muffin, nut or seed flour muffin or bread, etc., you can use that. That's the first point I just wanted to share. The second point is this. This is the picture on my little event for today. So we know that kefir grains do not like metal. They don't like metal. So how are you going to strain them out from that Milk Hotel? Now, first of all, you don't really need to strain them from week to week, because if you're doing it week to week, they won't get coated with a lot of that milk. However, if you leave them in there for a while, so my beautiful kefir grains were hanging out in my Milk Hotel for probably, 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, maybe longer. Changing the milk, but not rinsing them off. So they were really coated a lot. And I thought, if I'm going to make a new batch of kefir, I really want to make sure that they are available and they're not coated. So what did I do? I only had a metal strainer or sieve, so I lined it with cheesecloth. And then I could put my grains in there and rinse them off gently with some spring water. I hope you all get how cool that is, that I had that realization, and I'm sharing it with you. Yeah, really, really fun. Okay, so you get the idea of put cheesecloth on the metal so that the kefir will not touch the metal. Hooray! But you can still strain through the cheesecloth as you are rinsing off your grains. All right, maybe you all knew that already, but it was fun for me. Okay. All right, Adriana says, I do a cleansing enema before a coffee enema and have been doing enemas daily for 15 months, but I still notice I bloat after coffee enemas. You know, Adriana, the only thing I can think about is that, number one, hopefully the one cleansing enema is enough to clear the bowel, so you might want to do a second one, or not. I don't know what's going on there, and number two, bloating, yeah. Die off. So keep going, and I would do that. And also, you can put some, I hope everyone knows, you can put some cream, some cultured cream into the coffee enema. That may be what you need. You could try it if you're not already doing that. It makes coffee enemas a little more soothing, a little bit less intense, if you will. Okay, Paloma wants to know, for somebody that bloats, but I don't see the rest of your question. For somebody that bloats. Okay. Oh, you're out walking the dog. I love it. Okay. I will answer it later, Alyssa. I'm sorry about that. I will get to it. Okay. Paloma wants to know, for a child that bloats with fresh pressed juices, can those be fermented after pressed? always, I mean, it's always a great idea to ferment everything, folks. I know that sounds kooky, but certainly fermentation gets rid of sugar. So if a child is bloating from fresh pressed juices, what I would do is take the fresh pressed juice out, too much sugar, and go back and do more healing, more meat stock. Yeah, I'd go back and do more meat stock. I would do more probiotic foods, a lot more probiotic foods. If someone is bloating with the introduction of sugar, folks, you need to go, what's going on here? Am I feeding yeast? Am I feeding pathogens? Am I having die-off? What's going on? So if anyone is bloating from fresh pressed juices, I would back off the juices for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, and keep healing and then try again. That's just what I would be doing, because fresh pressed juice equals sugar. In my mind, sugar equals food for pathogenic microbes, so take it out of the diet. That's my thought process. I hope that helps. All right, so let's see. Who's next? Paloma says she has chronic constipation. We do kraut juice and kvass juice, but she can go 5 days. Oh, no. Oh, Paloma, I'm so sorry. So if your child's having chronic constipation, take kraut juice out, because kraut juice can constipate, number 1. Number 2, keep kvass in, because beets will help. Number 3, you must do an enema with your child. I hope you're doing them every single day with love. Really, we cannot have 5 days without a bowel movement for anyone on the planet. It's just so toxic and really strains the body. So please do that. I would be really, Paloma, I would be upping the fats, upping the fats. Lots of fat for your child, lots of magnesium for your child right now. Take the kraut juice out, add in a lot of, you can add in fresh vegetables. I don't know where she is on the diet, intro full what, but no 5 days without a bowel movement. Must do enema. Do not be afraid of enemas, moms, dads, aunts, caregivers. Don't be afraid of them. They are one of the oldest ways to detoxify the body, and it's really important to make sure that everyone on the planet is having a bowel movement every day. So really, really important. And it's also so important to make sure that it's a loving, easy, wonderful, experience for your child and yourself. Okay, Angela says, hi, our kefir grains stopped working a few weeks ago, so I have bought new kefir grains twice. They're not working either. We haven't changed anything. What do you think it could be? We are puzzled. Okay, so it may be that they just need a little bit of restarting, if you will. So this is why I mentioned the fact of rinsing them off in some pure water, because mine were kind of gummed over with a lot of stuff, and so they couldn't really reproduce because they were kind of clumped up. I need to know a little bit more. Angela, are you using raw milk? Are you using pasteurized milk? What temperature is your milk? Are you putting your kefir in a dark place? Are you covering or not? Give me some more info. We have about 5 more minutes, so get me some more info in there in the comments, and let's see if we can figure this out. Okay, Suzanne says, hi, Suzanne. Great to see you. Hi, do you find nut flour is fluffier fermenting the flour rather than the nuts, or doing both? What do you find, Suzanne? My answer, I know that yes. So fermenting nut flour will always give you a fluffier bread or muffin, as opposed to fermenting the nuts and then grinding it. So grind it first, ferment the flour. That's the best answer for me. And ferment it long. I have people, so when I first started doing this, I was fermenting 24 hours, but the longer you ferment the nut flour, so 48, 72, I like 72 hours, it's like the magic number. You'll get a nice fluffy loaf. All right. Okay, so Paloma says, I'm sorry, I'll come back up in a minute. I do enemas for her just when not BM after 48 hours. When I do them, she gets stomach pains, chills, nauseous, and lethargic. Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, Mama. Well, do them every 2 days for now. And, yeah. That sounds like it's just too much to do every day. But do those other things, Paloma. So I don't know if you were on early with us. I can't remember. But in this book, the blue book, Dr. Natasha has an entire chapter on bowel management with lots of things to try to throw at chronic constipation. So before time runs, big thanks. Oh, you're welcome, Paloma. You're welcome. But really, go ahead and jump in there. Look at bowel management and try everything in there with her. Certainly magnesium, certainly the triad of enema plus Epsom salt bath plus abdominal massage with oil. Remember too, folks, just want to bring this up because Mara, I don't know if she's on today or not, but a dear friend of mine from a long time ago, she says, don't forget the water. So make sure she's drinking enough water. Everyone who's constipated and everyone on the planet needs to make sure they're drinking enough water. That's pure mineral water. Water does not have to be digested. It's very cleansing. It's one of the things you must have enough of in order to not be constipated. So I just offer that to you. Make sure. Maybe you are, maybe you're not, but everyone needs to be drinking enough water. Okay. I'm going to take Sunny's question. I have been on, hi Sunny. I have been on GAPS for 2 years. I'm interested in taking GAPS chef and GAPS coach training. Should I wait until completely healed? So just so people know, yes, so if anybody's interested, the GAPS coach program is found on gapstraining.com. The GAPS chef program is something that I am putting out this year. The GAPS chef program is actually for trained chefs who want to go on and make their restaurants, their cafes, their food business into GAPS compliant. So probably GAPS coach would be where you would go. I would go ahead, Sunny, and throw an inquiry in there and see. Maybe they would take you now. The GAPS coach training, in fact, I'm going to be teaching that in an hour from now onto the GAPS coach training program. It's a fabulous program for people who have done the GAPS diet, who know how to do all the cooking and want to help others. It's a lovely thing. So check it out, people, if you're interested. gapstraining.com. You can also find it from Dr. Natasha's website, which is gaps.me. Gaps.me. Okay. Suzanne says, ha ha ha, I have only fermented the nut flour a few days and haven't noticed. What haven't you noticed? Okay. Paloma, you're welcome. Okay, Angela's question, raw milk on the counter. Okay, raw milk on the counter, about 20 degrees Celsius, sorry, covered with kitchen roll. Okay, so put it in the dark. See if it helps. That's a nuance, it's a new tweak for the blue book. Put it in the dark, Angela. So a couple things, I'll just, with this beautiful raw milk kefir question. So it's raw milk, it's on the counter, and so I would check your grains, make sure that they're not glommed over, like, it's like just got too much stuff on them. So rinse them gently in spring water. Put them in raw milk. Let them go for a very long time. I would let them go for a long time. So if they don't work in a day, leave them on the counter for 2 days. And make sure you're at somewhere between 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what that is Celsius. And put them in the dark. Leave them out for as long as it takes for them to activate. 2 days, 3 days, and then get back to us next week and let us know what happened. Does that make sense, Angela? I hope it makes sense. So yes, covered and warm, and let them go for a couple of days. You can stir, you can move the jar around a little bit. That's all I can really think of. Let's see if you could put it in a pantry, if that will help, and let it go for a day, 2 days, 3 days, as long as you need. Sometimes you need to let them go long to get them to reactivate, and then the next batch, it'll take less time, and the next batch, it'll take less time. When do you know that kefir is done? Well, it's certainly done. You know it's totally done when it starts getting a little bit of whey showing up. Stick it in the fridge. That makes sense. All right, so everyone, better go back. It's not going to get fluffier to your eyes, Suzanne. It's the nut flour that's fermented is going to be fluffier loaf. When you actually bake it, it'll be fluffier. It's not going to fluff in the bowl itself. But yes, you need to get back into the kitchen. Joke, joke, joke. All right. Okay, everyone. It has been a pleasure to be here with you today. And I wish you a wonderful week. I thank you for being out there and getting in the kitchen and trying to source real food and cooking for your children and cooking for yourselves and cooking for your spouses and trying to be well through food. It is entirely possible. We have seen so many success stories of things healing and children coming back online and losing their diagnoses of ADD or autism or whatever. People really healing. So blessings to all of you, and keep up the good work, and keep up the good cooking, and take heart, because what you're doing does matter, and it's tremendously important to not only your family, but to really the world right now. Okay, be well all, and we'll see you next week.